when Ramp 1 first started was from probably around 2014.
Yeah.
I think at that time it was the largest indoor skate park in Europe.
Yeah.
He ended up 16 or 17 days. He like broke a record here, didn't he?
The facilities you have here, it's not just about skateboarding, it's about all different types of extreme sports. So we're in Ramp 1.
Yeah.
Welcome to Local Heroes Podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Super tunnel here, which is ultra cool. I think before we start, why don't you introduce yourselves?
So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I am Neisha. I'm the operations manager of Activity for All in Warrington, which is with Ramp 1 and Airbase 1, skate park and inflatable park. And then we have Scott.
Yeah, I'm Scott. So I'm the owner of the building that we're sat in. Obviously, what Neisha just said. Yeah, me and Neisha kind of work together. So as the owner at the minute, I'm still kind of on site, kind of being a manager on site as well. So me and Neisha kind of manage it together, just getting the logistics together of it because we're fairly new, opened again. And kind of, just getting ourselves back on our feet. But yeah.
So there are probably quite a few people who know Ramp 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Ramp 1 is still based on the old Liverpool Road, which is in Warrington. And I think when Ramp 1 first started was from probably around 2014.
Yeah.
I think at that time it was the largest indoor skate park in Europe.
Yeah.
Significant investment with the street park as well as the rails and everything else.
Yeah.
You're asking me so obviously taking over the park for ourselves. So what you were saying, Ramp 1, it's still under Ramp 1, but it's under like kind of new management now, which is Activity for All, which I should have mentioned before. Activity for All's kind of just got about 10 to 15 years experience in the sports industry, so it's got sites like this over in the Wirral, it's got one in Bootle, it's got kind of an inflatable park in the Wirral as well, which is run through which is in a school, and then we kind of branched out with myself over in the Warrington area, so everything was over the Wirral side. Now we've got this that's in the Warrington area. Now this was kind of a new challenge for us as a company, Activity for All, meaning that we've never took a skate park on before. So we're into sports, we do all different multi-sports, everything that you can think of, but skate park kind of was something new, like a new challenge for myself definitely as well. I know, Neisha, you worked here for a while, didn't you? But for myself, the skate park was just like a new challenge for myself.
I think that's what worked best as well with me running it essentially beforehand, before the closure, with Scott coming in, Activity for All coming in with a big venue and what they know, and then bringing myself back and what I know, and then collaborating to work forward. Obviously, it is known as Ramp 1 from before, but this time around it is under Activity for All. So it's still Ramp 1, the skate park's still there, but it will be a lot different this time around. Appearance-wise, it might look the same at the moment, but in the pipeline we have so much plans for the park going forward, events. So it's completely ran different this time, which is amazing because I've worked from how it was before and how it is now. I can already see the positive impact and changes it's making so far. So it's exciting. Yeah.
I think for myself, I said to you, Neisha, didn't I? I was toying about with the name before, obviously when I took over it, because obviously Activity for All is the company, and that's what we want everyone to see. But I think we spoke about before, Matt, the following of Ramp 1 as a name, everybody knows it. So I kind of just decided together, didn't we, to keep them together if we can. So we always say Activity for All Ramp 1 or Activity for All Airbase 1, because obviously we've got the inflatable park as well. I think coming in, trying to change the name would have been the totally wrong thing to do. And then people might have been questioning, like, is it the same place? Or if it's a brand new name, would they have wanted a completely different park? Which obviously that's not what we wanted to do. We kind of wanted to take over an existing company that did do well at one point and obviously put our spin on it as Activity for All, which I think that's what we're doing. And like Neisha says, from her point of view, running it last time and then running it under me, she can already see kind of within, 4 or 5 months, that it's already working a lot better, and hopefully it carries on going in that direction.
Well, I know a lot of people were disappointed when it closed. The site itself created a lot of sort of inclusive sports and everything else for the
community.
community.
Community for people. I said to you, didn't I? Kind of when I first kind of took over it and we was in the setup stage, and obviously I was doing interviews and that type of stuff. So obviously my number was out there, and I had so many phone calls of people who didn't want a job, but he was asking me like, "Is it really opening again? Like, we can't believe that like you're opening." And I said to you, didn't I? Like. I was so overwhelmed at the time because I was getting phone calls left, right and centre, obviously thinking people saying, "Oh, I want an interview and stuff," but obviously we had interviewees, but a lot of people were like, I've lost my sense of community, like my community hub, like I made best friends for life there and it shut down, and like, is it really opening? And like I said to you, didn't I? I couldn't believe how many people were calling just to ask, is it back open, and we can't believe it. Obviously, that gave me a good drive then. Obviously, I was driven at start, but then phone calls, I was like, this is going to be something really good, and hopefully we can do it. And
it's proved to you, like, coming in, because you was honest. You said, look, I've not ran a skate park before. This is new to us. What knowledge do you have? Let's come together. And Scott's been very open to, like, learning. Like, we had a bit of a pre-opening night with some of the local riders. We wanted to get them in, get a bit of hype about opening the park again, and Scott coming and met them all. He's very open to ideas and like what we can do going forward. Yeah. And with the community aspect, I mean, last time when it did close, it was myself and the staff. The last day we were open, it was heartbreaking. Everyone was upset. There was the turnout for the last day, it was incredible. It was so busy. Everyone was like crying at the end, hugging each other. Everyone was gutted, and the amount of customers that were coming saying, "Is there anything we can do to save the place?" You know. So when it did close, it was so sad. It was like mourning a loss. So then, fast forward until when I heard that it might be opening again, I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" So when everyone started finding out it was opening again, it was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" So Activity for All, we can't thank them enough for investing and seeing where this goes. So we're putting our all into it, and it is going to be a success. We've only been open a couple of months now, and already you can just see the difference and the community, the support, everything. So yeah, very thankful. We're in a great position at the moment.
So I think it's worthwhile probably mentioning to people who are listening that we are in a live site. There are customers here today using the skate park, using the inflatable air base at the back there, and that's great. And so we were super excited to do that. In the end of the day, we're about real businesses, real people, and the challenges that has. So we're super excited that we're here. So just talking about it, for those who don't know so much about Activity 4 and Ramp 1, the facilities you have here, it's not just about skateboarding, it's about all different types of extreme sports. The way I would look at it is a bit like Liberalis, the way it's set up is it's about anything with wheels.
Anything you can get on
BMX, rollerblading, roller skating, scootering as well, obviously.
Of course.
We even have wheelchairs in, don't we? So people who specify in kind of the wheelchair sports side of it, because in the skate park industry there is kind of there's people who compete and do stuff on a skate park in their wheelchairs, so we even have them guys in as well. We have a select group, don't we, that come in once a week. We have more, but they always come in once a week and they love it here.
We're very diverse, open to everyone.
If it can work in our building, then we'll make sure that it can happen. We've even had we had two guys in who have Parkinson's, and they come in and they skate, and obviously myself, we got to know them because obviously with customer service, we love getting to know all our customers. Now we have a really good relationship with them. We put a Parkinson's only session on, so that was more, you didn't have to ride, but it's like a hub here and they could talk to each other and stuff. So even away from the riding, through them two guys coming in and having Parkinson's, we set some up alongside that as well. And they always come in now. We try and support them as much as we can. He makes his own wax now, which obviously used on rails and stuff, and we sell that in the shop for him. So like we build other kind of relationships and other stuff through the skate park, or obviously the inflatable park as well, which is always good, I think.
So it's one heck of a facility here. You get a feeling for that as you walk through the door. Yeah. And in fact, actually, when you come into the building, behind other doors, there is so much more space. And I know that there's plans for that, which we'll talk about a bit later on. But as you come in, you have the reception area where I think you can be either a member here or you can pay some sort of pay an entrance fee.
We do memberships. You can do like a weekly fee, you can pay as you go. So we're trying to make it so it's cost effective for everyone as well. I think that's very important. I think from last time around, the cost of living crisis, everything increasing, we're making sure opening this time around, we've kept it as low as possible. We put different payment plans and schemes out there for people to use who want to come enjoy the facilities. And we've incorporated the inflatable park more this time around, so you don't just have to come and ride or go on the inflatables. You can buy multi-passes, like combo packages, where you can go on both. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we've got the parties, lessons, we've got arcade machines, we've got an on-site cafe that you can use anytime. You don't have to come to ride, you can just walk in. And then there's plans to develop and open more bits, so it's going to be, it already is, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be available to anyone and everyone. If you just want to come and have a family day out, friends day out, got loads of plans.
You've got hot food as well, haven't you?
Yeah,
hot food, cold food. We do milkshakes and stuff now, don't we?
Iced coffees.
Iced coffee, everything you can think of, anything you want, then we can do it for you. Yeah.
And the breakout area as well. So you've got like a spectator area.
Yeah.
So you can, you've got the restaurant. You can eat there while everyone's doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I came down here and worked a couple of times just to get out of the house.
Yeah, so obviously we have our internet that you can use here as well. A lot of parents bring the kids through the day, or say if it's half term or something, and then they're like, would the children want to come, but I need to work? Well, you can sit in the cafe, go on your laptop, do your work while the kids ride, or on Airbase, or with us, or because we do sports camps as well. So every half term we run a camp, which is 9 till 3, or you can do the wraparound curve for an extra £2, and that's 8:30 till 5. Send them with us under our supervision all day, and we give them sessions on the skate park and sessions on Airbase. Sometimes they get a free ride with the coach, sometimes they'll learn something. We might do dodgeball on Airbase, but then you might just have a bounce on Airbase. So we incorporate all of it. We do like colouring and painting and all different arts and crafts stuff as well within the camp. So we try and utilise as much of our space as we can, and put as much on as we can for every working parent, or if you're not working or whatever your situation is, we try and put something on that you can do. So whether you don't want to send your kids to camp, like I just said, you can come and work here then, and they can still ride or bounce on the Airbase. So yeah, we're suitable to kind of anyone that wants to be here.
And I noticed you opened earlier this time, so you're open in the morning.
Yeah, so I think that we kind of, when Neisha was speaking about the prices before, people at first were kind of like, not they were just like, why is it £11 or £20 for the day? But the last time they was only open for 5-6 hours.
Yeah, in the week it was 3 till 9 during
so
term
we're open 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. So you can come for 13 hours a day if you want to. So then when people started to find out that, they were like, wow.
And break down how much it's a £20 from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m.
The hours that they get reflects the how much is coming, definitely. So if you pay £20 for the day on a Saturday and you're here 9 till 10, you've got 13 hours of riding or whatever you want to do for £20, which when you look at it is really cheap. It's really cheap. I know other places that might do like, I don't know, 3 hours for like £10, so you get 6 hours for 20, but you get 13 here for 20. So that was just one example.
We've actually thought about it this time around as well. I know a lot of the feedback was when we were closing at 9, riders wanted us to be open till later. So obviously of where we are located, we can't go too late because there's like a lot of houses around, noise and stuff, but we thought, right, we'd up it till 10 and we'll open earlier if anyone wants to come for a morning session, if it's the day off work and they want a quiet ride. So we've definitely thought into it of how we're going to do it different this time, and extending the hours is the way to go.
So I think the one thing for everybody to remember about Ramp 1 is that it's, as we said, it's multiple sports.
Yeah.
And it's multiple ages. So it's not just about like primary school age or anything. You've got people who are in their 50s who are skateboarding and BMXing and everything else. It's amazing, really, especially when you run events here, which we can talk about as well, because I know that you've run some already. And then I think you've got more planned going forward. Before we talk about those, just outside the restaurant there, you've also got Ramp 1 shop. And I think what you're trying to do is, again, promote that slightly differently this time. Yeah,
so we've actually... The shop's opened again. Like I said, we've only been open a couple of months now. We are looking to have a lot of different brands in this time, rather than just using one specific or what a certain distributor. We'd love to have multiple, so when people are coming in, they can have different price ranges for the what they're after. It's not all just, expensive stuff.
The thing for me as well is, and I
everyone.
always speak to you about this, don't I?
Yeah.
One thing I love to do and what we want to do is network with as many people as we can.
Yeah.
So we network with as many people, as many brands, as many distributors as we can to create them relationships and get to know people. Can they then come in our shop? If they can, we want you to. Like I always say to you, don't I? Like everything's yes until we have to say no. So we won't say no to anything.
No,
so if we can meet people and they got stuff that they want to put in the shop, or we can help them, or we can help each other, then we'll always
it's
be
like building the brands as well, and promoting each other and supporting each other. While we're on that subject, I just want to do a shout out to you guys, Liberalis. You've been very supportive. So really appreciate your support. I know every jam or anything we've got going on, you're always keen to help with giveaways, promotion. You can find your stuff in our on-site shop now as well. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Bunga Bled, who's also been very supportive. And there's many more that have helped us with our recent jam as well. And going forward, we can't wait to collab again. The events are just going to get bigger and better each time. Like I said, we've only been open a couple of months. We just wanted to show everyone when we first opened. We did a little scooter night, skateboard night, roller night. We just wanted to show people it's in the pipeline and we've got it coming and we're going to build on it. They're going to get bigger. But just before we get there, I also want a shout out to people that are helping us get there as well, which is important and we appreciate. So thank you.
Well, I was super excited that you reopened. And
Yeah.
Oh, Liberalis is always happy to help where it can. It's part of the extreme sports community anyway.
Yeah.
And but it was a no-brainer for us.
You.
Well, we're a local business as well, of course.
Yeah.
Got to support each other. I mean, you've been, like Neisha said, you've been brilliant, along with a couple of others. But yeah, you guys, yourselves, and what was the other one?
Bunga Bled.
Yeah, you two have been amazing. So obviously we can't really thank you enough. So
you're
just thank you.
More welcome any time at all.
Like a little family now. Can't get rid of you.
That's it now, isn't it? Yeah, I'll be in every Friday.
Yeah.
I think with the events, though, I was going to say then, touching on it, we kind of. We do what I call only nights now, and what I mean by that is like roller only night, or we've done a BMX only night, and it's just to kind of get that clientele in the building together. So then as the months go down the line and we actually put events on for that discipline, we've already had them in and met the people. Because I said to you, didn't I, Anissa, I don't want to just put an event on, but I haven't really met anyone yet, or met them. Obviously, some people that come I want to meet, but I wanted to meet the majority of people, get them in on them nights, and we do them monthly. I know the roller one in line's been amazing, hasn't it? We've had one every month. Yeah. That's been the most consistent, but the other ones have been once a month as well. So after kind of we've done them for a good few months, everyone's in the building, then everyone knows we're reopened, we've got to know the people, and then we want to actually start getting into the proper events then. We've had obviously our skateboarding one on Friday, didn't we, which went amazing. That's the first proper kind of event we've done in-house where there's been prizes and obviously judges and that type of stuff. So that's kind of where we want to kick off from now and kind of carry on in that right direction with the events that we've got planned.
Yeah.
Some of the learning around events.
Yeah.
It is quite interesting because you can hold up to many events. You can hold events where no one arrives.
Yeah.
And it's really quite scary, and then sometimes you just absolutely rammed.
Yeah.
What I found is that a lot of people tend to ask what's the format of the day.
Yeah.
So even though you might have a girls' skate one day or whatever it may well be, or girls' BMX, it doesn't really matter what sport it is. Everyone's kind of looking for now, what time does it start? Okay, got that.
Yeah.
But is there a running order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is that running order going to affect me? And then do I have the confidence to do it? Because that seems to be the case, is that there seems to be some hesitancy, perhaps even more in outdoor spaces, but worried about turning up on their own to an event, And actually the whole point of the extreme sports community is there are no enemies here.
No.
Yeah, listen, it's all about taking part. So you don't have to be a pro rider. You don't have to have backing from someone. If you want to come and take part, have a go. We're all about it. That's what it's about, building the community. If everyone was just brilliant riders and winning stuff every time, there'd not really be much point in it. Yeah. The whole point of having these jams is to have everyone come together. Like, it doesn't matter if you're just learning how to ride, just supporting one another. I think that's what I loved seeing about the jam recently that took place. we had a few beginners there, but they were trying it. Maybe they weren't landing the trick straight away that they wanted to do, but seeing everyone around, rallying around them, cheering, clapping, and then seeing their faces light up, and then they're asking, they're messaging then, when's the next one? So it's just giving them confidence as well and showing like it's for everyone if you want to get involved.
I think the good thing with the jam the other night as well, what I liked, obviously Neisha did this, was we had a spectators fee where you didn't have to take part, but you could ride around and watch. Now, a lot of people, like when you say, Mark, about having that confidence, now they've seen the first one, they might have just paid for the entry fee and not the competition, but they've watched, they've seen that as beginners, everyone's welcome, everyone's getting clapped and cheered, and what do you do? Smash, hit
banging
the balls, don't they, and stuff. So they
involved,
might even giving them that option, because some events it's you do the event or you're not there. Now we would give that both, just to they could come in and see how it works, and then they might be like, oh, next time, I might not be professional, but I'm allowed. I can take part. You know, this is for anyone, and obviously you want to get involved with it. So I think it was run brilliantly, the one that we did the other day. Credit to Neisha and the team.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Neisha.
I'll be getting a bonus after this.
I hope so. Yeah, that's the business plan down the drain already, isn't it?
Can we get it in writing while we're here?
But the idea behind any sports side is it takes practice.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yes, you can be out on the street, maybe on the pavement, whatever it is, but being part of something here in a controlled environment as well is also useful. I mean, here there's so many ramps, bowls, everything that you're going to improve.
Yeah. Course.
I think what I loved about kind of this park, and I said to Neisha when I first started, obviously from my background is business, I used to ride a BMX when I was younger, like never brilliant, but I loved it. I used to go to skate parks and stuff, but been out of touch with it for years. So kind of I took over and was kind of teaching myself again a little bit about skate parks and stuff. But I said to you when kind of I come in here, I seen that no matter where you was in this park, there was something for you. So like kind of even the street section, I know that street section is brilliant and it's obviously tailored to be like a street, but the ramps are really not steep, kind of, what's the opposite to steep? Kind of
like flowing more, aren't they?
Flowing, and kind of if you're not confident on your board or you're fairly new, that section's for you. The beginner section, obviously the ramps are a little bit more steep, but they're still not as steep. Now that's the next step for you. And then obviously if you want to go really high and you ride your BMX and stuff, you've got the boxies. So the point I'm trying to make is anywhere in this park, no matter your ability, whether it's the first day that you're on a board or a bike, or you're at the end of not the end of your career, but the end of your riding, or if you're in the middle and you're smashing it and you need to kind of improve at the best, you can ride somewhere in this park. So it's kind of suitable to anyone, no matter where you are in your journey of riding.
Yeah, and I think that's really good food for thought. I think one of the probably restrictions around some of the outdoor parks we've got a fantastic bowl, or I suppose it's a pool park, which is over in Victoria, for example. It's brilliant. But I think here in particular, you just have some additional facilities. Yeah. So if you're like a street rider, but I'm not just talking about BMXs. Yeah. Even if you're scooting or BMXing, there are rails here that you can have a go on. Yeah. You've got a huge bowl which is just above us here, which is a little bit more extreme. Which is Ace. I see a lot of BMXers go on there, for example.
I mean, we have a lot of people visiting and say, oh, it's the best boxes around, it's the best rhythm section of road.
It's brilliant, isn't
you know, we have held the backyard jam here previously, which was amazing. So going forward, we're definitely going to utilise the areas that we have to hold them certain jams or events. We're very open to working with other companies as well. So if anyone wants to come in and host an event here, we're open to it. So yeah, it's amazing all the different types of areas we have in the park that we can utilise. Yeah. It's fantastic. So yeah, especially them boxes. They are one of the best boxes.
A lot of professionals come in for them, don't they? Tell us like the rhythm section that's in the middle, that's above us. They say like there's nothing like it around, like the unbelievable. And we get, like I say, like Sean Gornall and Mike Hullock and that come in, don't they? You obviously ride for Skate GB, like top of the game at the minute. They love the middle. They're always here. So it just shows, obviously, like I say, we like anyone to come in, but it's always nice to have the top people who's at the top of the game in here and telling us that it's the best around for them. So kind of sings for itself. That's what I believe anyway. Yeah,
when we held our Christmas jam here, we had a mixture of skaters, and the one thing we went out of our way to do was to make sure that we didn't have like a female group and a male group and whatever group. It was here's your number.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
And it's amazing at that how that worked. Especially for that jam.
Yeah.
Because you found that everybody was interested. Because sometimes what can happen is that one group goes off one way, one group goes off the other, and no one's really participating.
I think it can be quite daunting as well. Like if you're,
it's so much better.
Like, it can be quite daunting if it's just like you're trying to categorise. So it's good that how we did it, put everyone together. Yeah. Here's your numbers, go for it, have a good time.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
I think that's it. No one's judging anybody. It is super fun. So, look, you've got, as I say, you've got the Ramp Run shop here, and unashamedly so. If there's some background noise for the listeners, that's because we're in a live environment. It's super. It's great. You want to hear it, don't you? It's vibrant. But I think you've got some plans. So at the moment, the park is split almost into 3 or 4 sections, right? Yeah. Of which anybody in any sport can go and use. You've got the airbase at the back, as you said. There used to be I think where airbase was, there used to be a bowl.
Yeah, we had a bowl, and we had the mini section of the park that was ripped out when it was under old ownership and turned into our now inflatable park, airbase 1. Which I'm not going to lie, a lot of people were sad to see it go.
I think skaters wasn't they? But from a business point of view, I think I wasn't here at the time, but I can only imagine it's probably what was needed at the time to survive. It was what was done
necessary to keep the place running. Yeah. Everyone loves the skate park. It was always the heart of the business, but something was needed to keep it open as long as it was.
I've got to be honest though, I'm kind of glad it wasn't. Because when I was looking for something to take over in the area that I have, it was the airbase that actually interested me to come towards this. So kind of, if that wasn't there, would I have took a look at it, mate? I'm not saying I wouldn't have, but I was looking for a space to have a big indoor inflatable park. Now, this was already there for me to kind of take over. Now, the skate park at the time was just a bonus for me because I was like, it's an extra part of the building. So in a selfish way, I'm kind of glad that they did. That's what made me look at it. So everything happens for a reason, doesn't
definitely.
it? So
and now we got Scott in, having him here. I think he's realised as well, because obviously he did invest for the inflatable park and the skate park was here. But then upon showing him round and meeting the riders and working here, being around, he's realised the community aspect of it and how big it is.
Yeah, I love it.
It's crazy. There's so much potential for this skate park. I think, unfortunately, I mean, it is on the map, but it's not where it could be at the moment. We're getting there. That is when we talk about plans.
I think we're getting back.
We're in the right direction.
Getting back to there, aren't we, for what it was? But I think over the last kind of the year before it shut, what I can gather, not bad mouthing anyone, it kind of people stopped to come though, didn't they? And it kind of started going down a bit. So we've kind of took over it.
It lost its community aspect of it, I think, and it lost that drive and passion for it, unfortunately. But now it's under new management, new ownership. The amount of
people that comes in now and say like, I love the vibe of the place now. Like, you've only made little changes, but it's kind of got a new life to it. Kind of the staff, just the way that we've trained the staff to be with customers and stuff, and just kind of, I think how me and you are kind of, because we're kind of at the top of the food chain, if you like. We don't really like saying that, but the way we're so like kind of normal, and you'll see me around, I'm always talking to customers. That's what I love to do. I'll try and get to know everyone. So I think kind of when people come in, they just love the feel of it here. Obviously, stuff we're doing now, even kind of we've took a guy on called Blur who's skate GB qualified, so he takes lessons for us now. So even pushing stuff like that now, kind of getting the right people in place to get the lessons are picking up again now, and it's just the whole vibe, of the place.
Well, like, I know a lot of people always say, and myself included, saying it's got potential. We will get there. It's just we've only just opened. Yeah. Me being here last time gives us that advantage to know what didn't work last time and where were we going wrong last time. And I want people to know when they keep saying like, oh, will you get a resi? Will you do this? Will you do that? Well, once we are where we need to be, we will be investing into the park. Improvements will be made. We're going to have big scale events. That's the way we're heading, and we're looking. So it's not just been open to tick by, and it is what it is. Yeah. We are very open.
We want to invest.
Yeah.
I always say to Neisha, I want this to be the best thing in the UK or the world, and that's what we're going to push for. And what I mean by that is we're going to try and do as much as we can. How much customer feedback do we take? And I always have conversation with customers and say, like, what would you want to see in here? Or did you enjoy your session today? Yeah, I did. Was there anything that you want to see? Or we've already made little changes that people have asked for, but I've spoke to customers and kind of said, you need to realise this is kind of a longer term thing, and everything you're asking for, we are looking at it, but I can't just do it overnight. We've got to be open for at least a year. Don't forget, we opened in March, so it's been a couple of months. I think people are understanding now, aren't they? They're coming in, they're enjoying themselves, and understanding that we are looking at the stuff, and we've already made little changes, and it's kind of going into.
I think people might have thought, it's called Activity for All now. We're going to come in, it's going to be a completely different skate park. Things going to be ripped out. There's going to be things added, which I can understand, but we're getting on our feet. We're getting to where we need to go. And we're going to be investing in it, and there's going to be changes made. And
that's what I said to you before, didn't I? I was worried that with the new name and the new ownership, people were going to come in and it was going to be a completely different park. But I kind of made it clear to people, and I'm always open and honest, I've kind of took over it as a business. Like, I'm not an investor as such. I'm not a multi-millionaire that's come in to like change everything. I'm just a guy who's took over a business, obviously trying to get the community sense back open. So at the minute, I can't change everything in the park we can't as a business, because that's just not where we're at yet. But obviously, we are looking at little things.
That's the goal, and that's what we're working towards. So,
and hopefully, we can make little changes to the park. Now, like we said before, our park's brilliant, and there's not actually much space to change anything at the minute. But we're having a lot of conversations on looking around the park, seeing what could we add something, or is there something we could change. But then we're just trying to make sure that we do it right, aren't we?
Yeah,
but
100%.
I would say to kind of people that's listening and people that do come in, just give us a bit of time and stick with us, and you will see changes.
And we do appreciate the support that we've had so far.
Yeah.
So just stick with us, guys. It will happen. Don't worry.
So I think the important thing is that you're here. You've taken the risk.
Yeah.
One of the key themes around some of the podcasts we've done is that it is hard work.
Yeah, of course.
You've taken a big risk.
Yeah.
But you are making a success already. You can see that there's a vibrancy here already, which is absolutely fantastic to see. You're young, you're energetic yourself, so you're putting the effort in, and you can also see what it needs going forward.
Yeah.
Things always have to change in order to be relevant at all times. So don't beat yourselves up about that. I wouldn't dwell on the past any longer. You are where you are now. You've got great backing through Activity for All.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity for the community. There's so much more could be done.
Yeah.
Some of it's around promotion, though, and it has been apparent to me, certainly within the community here, that again we've got to be really, really hard on where this place is.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the map where we possibly can. There are other places to go, obviously, in the northwest, but this is a super facility. The ramps here are still high quality, by the way.
Yeah.
So I try not to worry too much about that. I do realise that things can be the same. It's like running down Chill Factor, and you go down the same slope all the time. But at the end of the day, everyone still goes, don't they?
That's what you love to do, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
People come and ride here, and yes, they're riding the same ramps, but they come obviously because they love it and they want to ride. You want to skateboard. It's kind of like, you could say, being a football player. You play on a pitch and you do the same stuff on the pitch, and you do it week in, week out, but it's because you love doing that, so you're going to continue to do the same. I know that's slightly different, but it's kind of the same concept.
I think it speaks in volumes again for the community aspect of it, that they keep coming back. We have a lot of regular riders, like a family.
I think we've got a lot going on now community-wise as well, which I think, like, not dwelling on last time, but that's where kind of my background and skill has come into this, which I think has been really good. So I've come from like an educational background, like teaching in primary schools, doing community-based stuff, doing like home education sessions, running toddler sessions, all that type of stuff. So kind of when I took Neisha on, and like she said before, kind of her skill set of running this place and knowing the skate park, and then my educational background, we've kind of bumped our heads together, haven't we? And it's working brilliant. And also, like, when you keep mentioning, Mark, all the noise you can hear, we've got an home education session on now. We've had people come in and say they've been to other places, and this is the biggest following that they've got. We have like 30 plus kids on it every week, and that's just like I say, that's home education. So obviously they come here for the PE sessions with us, if you like. We do an hour session on the skate park, an hour session on the air base. And that's just one example of something that we kind of run that does help the community, because kind of home education, parents are always finding stuff to do for their kids, kind of the sport version, because obviously they teach them at home, but they come here for kind of the sport. So yeah, I think kind of my background and everything I've pushed into this building, along with Neisha's kind of knowledge of how the skate park runs and how the business runs of it, it's working really well.
Yeah, it's just what we needed, and as well, it's like Scott said, the home education. They're coming to ride the park and to go into the inflatables, but also there's kids here that are coming that have never rode on a scooter or skateboard before. So you're getting them into that. Maybe they might not all love it, some walk away and think it's not for them, but the ones that do come and they try it out and they go, oh, this is good, and they're getting into that facility scene then, you know what I mean? So it's good to like promote us.
The good thing that we have is the two varieties as well. So I found on the first couple of weeks there was a couple of children who wouldn't come onto the skate park, but then they had base, which was fine. And the more they've watched and the more we've talked to them and kind of got to know them a bit, now you see them riding in the sessions. So if you just come to a skate park and there was nothing else for you to do, and you was not scared but you didn't want to ride, you'd just leave because there's nothing else for you to do. So I think the option to have something else now, 99.9% of children will go on the airbase. Kind of, they won't say no to an inflatable park. So that's the thing. That then gives us the opportunity to kind of put the feelers out there to them, get to know them, ask them, oh, just come and watch this for a minute, come and see this, and then now you see them riding. So I think they work really well together, and that these two things are only the first step for us.
It's like a proud parent watching it. We had a little girl on our May half-term camp, and she was so nervous. I know her older brother rides board, and she wanted to kind of get into it just to show off, really. But towards the end of the day, she's running to get me. Neisha, come out and watch me. And I went and watched her, and I felt like a proud parent. And it's nice, and seeing the faces light up, and it's like, that's what it's all about. So no matter what age that is, of course, you can get into it at any age, but it's just great to see someone, you know, coming a little bit nervous, unsure, but then when they finally do it, and it's just like, oh.
It is amazing.
So it's
amazing
really
to watch.
Nice, yeah.
This place has the wow factor.
Yeah.
Which I don't think people realise. Again, we talked about the scale of this place. And each time I bring people here, they all say, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You've got like a mezzanine area just at the back there. You can overlook the ramps and everything else. And it's really spectacular.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's really going for it. So the vision around, you want this to be the best place in the world. I do have to say, I do think that it certainly can be the best one. I mean, it is so large, and I know that you've got some plans around some of the empty spaces that you have the other side there. Yeah. Be great to understand that. But before we move on to that, you've got some decorating to do, I think you were doing. So I noticed that you had a post the other day talking about a paint jam. Yeah. Tell us about that.
So the paint jam's really just to get any artists in that want to come and take part in featuring their work on our walls. So we may have a large event approaching, which will be filmed. So that'd be amazing to have their art on display for that. There'll be more future events that will be filmed, put on socials. So it's advertising their work as well in such a wide setting space, as well as a refresh of the park as well, which we want. It's also got that community feel to it. So if you want to come take part, put your art on, we can all appreciate it together.
I think for us as well, I've had a conversation there's a guy called Scott who works for us. He's the kitchen lead, kitchen manager, but he's an artist, like graffiti artist. He goes to like exhibitions and stuff, and his art's amazing. So looking at the community and what we can do here, kind of might seem a little bit random, but I've had conversations with him. We're going to put on like art schools. So we've got spur spaces around that's just brick, and we've got quite a lot of wood that's spur. So we're going to kind of get some wood up on these spur spaces, and then we're going to get kids in and kind of teach them on how to properly do art, how to safely, in a safe environment, once they're ready, get kind of the spray cans out. Obviously we'll have all the masks and stuff there, and then they'll start to spray in the little parts of the wall and stuff. So the very first conversation come on with this art school idea, and then we've had to do a little bit of painting, like Neisha said. We can kind of give a little hint, but we can't speak about potentially something that's happening later on in the year.
We're sprucing the park up. I know
we wanted to go hand in hand.
We have had a lot of people asking, you know, is it going to be refreshed for when it opens.
I think that was
We're
partly
getting
my
there,
fault,
yeah.
though, wasn't it? Because I said to Neisha at the start, the back wall that you might be able to see, I'm not sure, but that was all kind of, it was graffitied, it was just random kind of like buildings and stuff, and it looked, I don't want to say old,
Yeah.
it looked used, but I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that it looked a bit used and it was a bit kind of vintage. And
Yeah,
I said
yeah.
to you, didn't I was like, I don't really want to like get rid of it, I love it. So we've kind of kept it for the first few. We've kept it, haven't we?
kept
But
it for a bit.
we have to change some of it now.
It is time for a
this,
change in some
yeah.
aspects, I think. You know, we'll do what we can and what we can do at the moment, and we've started. So as the wall you can see now, if you can see it, it will be spruced up in the coming weeks. I also want to shout out to any of the artists that do take place. We've had quite a lot of people that have messaged and they want to take part. So we thank you for that as well, for getting involved.
When is the
So
target?
it's going to be in the next couple of weeks. We've not set a date yet. It's going to be in the next couple of weeks. It is on our socials, so if people just keep their eyes peeled on there. Yeah, and we'll post updates as we go as well.
Is it still called at Ramp 1 Skate Park? Is that what it's called, or is it Activity for All now?
No, it's Ramp
Instagram,
1.
yeah.
Yeah, we've got the Ramp 1.
I think Instagram's
Instagram.
ramp1_ skate park, isn't
Yeah.
it? The Facebook's still ramp1 skate park. The Airbase one is still the Facebook. And then we've got a new Instagram, haven't we? Is it AFA_Airbase one?
Yeah.
I think. That was the only
Yeah.
one we had to change. Kind of with the socials, going back to what I said at the very beginning, it would have been, I didn't want to change the names, and because it already had such a good following, we kind of just took over them ones. I wanted to join them together, didn't I, at first?
Yeah.
Made the decision not to. I just think the target audience are different. What we would have been posting for Airbase might not suit the skateboard community. What I would have been posting for the skateport might not suit the Airbase. So we just ended up deciding to keep them separate.
We didn't want to confuse people as well for when we reopened. Like we said, people already knew who he was.
I think that's what it was. It had such a big
Yeah.
following as the name as it was, so we kind of just took over it and changed the logo with the Activity for All Ramp 1, Activity for All Airbase 1. But they're still kind of, it's all one building. It's just two different Facebook, two different Instagrams.
Yeah.
The reason why I think I'm going to rephrase my statement before about it could be, I think it is the best facility in the UK.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And because things are relative,
Yeah.
right? One of the reasons why I think it's the best facility is because none of the other parks, for as I can see, has as many ramps and other equipment, let's just say, which you can have a really, really good go at. It's not as open, I don't think. But I think there's one disadvantage, which is that with all of these things, it needs to be backed properly.
Yeah.
And I can't understand for the life of me, if you want to be promoting and encouraging extreme sports or urban sports or whatever sports it might well be, i.e. not football,
Yeah.
then why wouldn't the regulators and owners of the revenue, let's say, for types of sponsorship, why wouldn't they get involved? Because otherwise what could happen is, with the greatest respect, Scott, you know, you're putting your life and soul into this.
Yeah.
It could go tits up if you don't get the investment. So you've had fantastic investment from Activity for All already, and fair kudos to them for seeing the potential for this place, and it was a risk.
Yeah.
And I think they've done the right thing. They've 100% done the right thing. I would like to see Sport England, Skateboard GB. I'd like to understand what it is that they're going to be able to do in order to be able to support facilities like this. Because you're going to have youngsters coming through. You've got grown-ups coming through. You've got adults who are now skateboarding and BMXing with their kids coming through. The amount of people, by the way, I say skateboards who are 30 years old now, and they want to do it with their lad and girl in the park. Sometimes the Olympics, by the way, has had a fantastic influence on that. But I would just say, for anything like this, there's not many facilities like this in the country. So surely we would want to make sure, even though it's a private enterprise, that it's available in the community all the time. So therefore, you've always got a pipeline of people coming through. It's always going to be used. It then allows you to be able to change and upgrade where you absolutely need to. But you've got promotions for it. So any events that happen within the country should be in places like this.
Yeah.
It has the capacity in order to be able to do so. So I would
are
certainly
working in
encourage
that
anybody like
direction.
that.
Yeah,
The good
direction
thing
going.
about us now at the minute is, and this is how Activity for All run things. Obviously, I just spoke to you about this numerous times, haven't I? But I just wanted to operate for a few months. But we're actually going to register as a CIC. For the listeners, that's just a community interest company. That just means that all your profits that you get comes back into the business, which is what we want to do, because we want to, like as you just said, make as many changes as we can, do as many things as we can. It means that we can put more stuff on because we'll get more funding. So as soon as you become a CIC, your doors for funding just open up everywhere. So as soon as that CIC application is done, which we're right at the end of now, it takes a couple of months to process. We should then, like you were saying, get a lot more funding, which means we can put a lot more stuff on for cheaper or even free. We can run more things because we've got more revenue with the funding that we're going to get. I think you're 100% right, and we're going to try and get as much backing as we can. Hence why I'm doing a CIC. Kind of, I don't need to go down the CIC route. I want to. That's what I want to do, because I want to get as much funding as I can, so we can put as much on as we can in the building, keep it as cheap as possible. Even some stuff we can do for free. Because we'll have enough funding for it, which is the route that kind of us here, Activity for All, but us here at Warrington are kind of going down. So I'd say kind of give us a few months to get that finished. We will then apply for all the different fundings that we're eligible for then, and then we can obviously put as much on as we can. Hopefully we can get some money to potentially change some of the ramps as well, which is
and we'd love to work alongside all these big companies and everything. Of course, that is the goal.
I think British Cycling have been brilliant. Shout out to Diane, who I've been speaking to. She's been really good. We've had a bit of funding off them to put something on for freestyle BMXing. So we're running a little event in July. We're going to get, who I mentioned before, Sean and Mike Down, who ride for British Cycling, sorry. And they're going to come and ride with whoever's in and teach them a couple of things and stuff. So we've got a good relationship with them. It's a good start with them, and hopefully we can kick off from that as well. And obviously Skate GB as well.
Skate GB at the moment.
We've got a good relationship with them at the minute.
It's about building them relationships as well. So we have only been open we was open for years last time, but we're not looking back on the past, not dwelling. But we're now building them relationships. So look at it as it's a fresh company, it's a fresh start. So they're all them relationships we want to form. And
so it's like networking, like I said before. One of the main things that I love, but I know in business is probably the most important thing that you need to do is networking and meeting new people. Get the right people around you. That's how people become successful. It's not always you as an individual. Like, for example, me taking Neisha on, I knew that I needed someone like with her experience around me. That's just one little example. What I mean by that is network with the right people, get them around you, create them relationships. That's when the ball will start to roll, and that's kind of what we're doing at the minute. Just like I say, it takes that bit of time.
One of the challenges I think you were saying, which is relevant to all of the small businesses and sports people we've been speaking to in the past, is the difficulty around maintaining social media focus. And that in itself is quite a challenge. And I think you said you're having to start again because you used to have an Instagram page, I think, which is the old handle now. I think you've got new. I think you've got to get a new website and whatever else. And that's a challenge. So there's a fear that you could lose the community following that you already had. And the only thing I can do to encourage you is to just do it. Just keep going forward. People will start to forward. I think the interesting thing is over. When you look at the demographic of people who BMX and skateboard, for example, they tend to be really enthusiastic over the informative teenage years, I would say. And then from that, 90% of those people don't follow that into their 20s because there's other sports happening or whatever else. So you've got actually a great opportunity where there are fantastic, new, enthusiastic people coming through. You've got folk who've done it before, who are familiar with the facility, and let's encourage them to get behind the park.
I think the good thing with us as well, what I found is we're creating good relationships with people who not that they're not known in the industry, but they're just local riders, but they're brilliant. Now we love them, don't we? Like Lewis and Morgan is two lads that we shout out. So when I was on about the roller night, inline night before, there's a guy called Lewis who comes in all the time, just a local lad, lives in Warrington, but he's got a good community kind of in the inline stuff. Now he runs the events with us. He kind of markets it. He knows the people. We do it with him. We give him the space, and they work brilliant, don't we? So amazing. Morgan's another one, unbelievable on his BMX. I've never seen anyone like him. Morgan could ride in any part of this skate park, and what is he like? Like, I'm mesmerised by him. I can't believe he's not like picked insane. Up by someone or. And we're looking at sponsorships with them, aren't we? So,
I was trying to give you the nod there to get your attention. Can we mention that?
We're sponsoring these type of guys, so we're kind of meeting the local people and realising that the talents, and obviously we want to try, if they've not already been picked up by someone kind of like a brand or anything, we want to be their brand for them. Like, so I just think we're getting to know everyone that we can.
Yeah, cool. It's about giving everyone a chance. There's people that are just insane on whatever they ride, and they've not necessarily been noticed. So, I mean, we're here for you. Or there's also people that are beginning who you can just tell they've got it. They love it. They're all about it. So we want to give everyone a chance. So we are looking at sponsoring riders. We have a lot of people asking us all the time, sponsors, and we've never done it in the past.
What about little Frankie, who's 11? We've got a guy, little Frankie, who comes in, he's 11.
Mark's met him,
He loves it. Look, like, he's here every day, wasn't he?
His face lit up when he met Mark. He said, "Oh, you're the owner of Liberalis." Oh my God.
He's unbelievable. He was in here, like, joking around. He was like, I want a job. He was like, I'll do anything now. And I was like, do you have your national insurance number? So, because I can't pay you with the bar. He's like joking around, and I was like, listen, like he just wanted to be here all the time. He's brilliant on his skateboard. Let me tell you, he's brilliant.
So what did he do? Was it 16 days on the trot or something?
Yeah, he did the record, didn't he? Because he come for our sports camp, but it only ran for 1 week. Now his school was off for 2. So the second week he come every day as well, didn't he? And then like there was one more day or something. He ended up 16 or 17 days. He like broke a record here, didn't he? But he become part of the furniture. He was walking around and he was speaking to everyone. And I was like, he knows everyone in this building just because he's here so much and he's so likable. Such a nice little lad, isn't he?
That's what we want from everyone. We want everyone to feel comfortable and they come in, and a lot of them do. But just for anyone new that's listening or they've not visited before, that's how we want the environment to be. You come in, it's friendly faces, hi, have a chat, how's the wife, how's the kids, how's the dog, whatever. Just want them to feel relaxed. You can come in a safe space, learn how to ride, or you've already been riding, or go for a bounce, have a coffee, whatever you want to do. But you can just come and feel chilled, and there's
the good thing about here, this is what I wanted to kind of portray as a business as well, and I think we're getting there, aren't we? Kind of with our on-site cafe, which you spoke about before, we've got such a variety of food. We sell all hot drinks, all cold drinks, but people have now started to come in just to have a sit and a coffee or just have some food.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that everyone knows this is kind of just, it's just I call it a community hub. What I mean by that is you can come in and do what you like. If you don't want to ride, fine. If you want to sit and have a coffee with your friends, if you want to sit and have a chat to us, if you're by yourself and you just want to come and have a coffee and speak to a member of staff, we're here. Kind of utilise us anyway, and I want it community-based hub where kind of, like I say, you want to come in and have a drink, or you want to come in and have your dinner and have your break time here. Say if you live local and you want an hour on your break here, come and do it. You know, we're open to kind of anyone who wants to come in.
Well, there's a number of businesses here on this park where they could come in and get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, we've
started now. A lot of the regulars.
We've been promoting it better now, the cafe. We've kind of gone on Just Eat now, haven't we? So we can kind of get... We want people to know that we're here just as a cafe as well, kind of if you just want food. We've started delivering our menus now, haven't we? Obviously, we post on our socials all the time, but we're just trying to hit every marketing angle that we can. So delivering menus now, going on Just Eat, telling everyone that if you just want food, just come in for food, that's fine.
And we have plans in the future to maybe turn it like, we can have sport on. Maybe get a pint,
like a sports lounge. We are going to get a alcohol license eventually because we want kind of that sport lounge vibe where we might, like the Euros is on at the minute. I know that's nothing to do with skate parks, but some families might bring the kids for the bounce and they want to watch the Euros, so they can watch the Euros and maybe have a little pint, or because we're going to do some adult sessions as well. So we're going to have like Christmas parties for works Christmas parties and stuff where they can come and have like a bounce. We'll run our own little kind of like fun bingo session, and we might do kind of like beer pong games and stuff. But that's just inclusive, just in a different way that we're going to obviously be in a safe environment way.
Yeah.
We're trying to just hit every angle that we can that supports everyone. We've had a few people message, haven't we, saying, do you do adult sessions?
Yeah.
So we're kind of going into that kind of route as well with the Airbase side, which I think will be really good. We've got a thingy with a guy, Dan, haven't we? He comes in and he runs kind of like a bongos bingo, but it's called Bonza Bingo, I think. We're maybe potentially putting that on somewhere when we can, so that'll be brilliant as well. That's just something else that we're going to do. Yeah. We're looking at fitness stuff, aren't we?
Yeah,
so we're looking at fitness classes, so kind of like mums who have prams, can we put a fitness class on for them where they can push the kids, or if the kids are toddling, they go on Airbase, but they're doing fitness and stuff. There's loads of ideas that we've got that we want to incorporate.
We're exploring
into
anything and everything. Yeah. We're open to all ideas.
So we have a skate park and an inflatable park, but we do so much more, and we're just going to strive for even more than that, especially with the plans that we've got on the other side of the building.
And I think that's the magic of thinking big, isn't it? You've got to diversify to make it work, make it appeal to everybody. But here it is. It's in the centre of Warrington. I find it interesting that you might say, do you know where Rump 1 is? No, where's that?
Yeah.
So here it is. It's in the centre of Warrington, everyone.
Let's
come and use it. Come down on a Saturday.
Town. You can get the train here.
Come and grab a burger.
There's a bus stop right outside, so there's no excuses.
Well, I know Jess really enjoyed her egg sandwiches that she had here.
Did you enjoy them, Jess? Yeah. I'm glad.
She smashed them out of the park, so she really liked them.
I had a cheese and ham toasted today, which was beautiful. Bit of mayo.
Yeah, shout out to the barbecue chicken paninis and the iced coffees.
We've covered. Listen, we know the challenge of the business, and you're going to have. This said to you many times, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I think with these type of places is it's almost like a comfort blanket in a sense, is that it's always here. Yeah. So if I don't go, then it'll still be there if I do fancy popping in. Yeah. But the way in which to get good at a sport, come down with your mates and come down all the time. Yeah. Even if it was for half an hour, come and enjoy it. Yeah. Bring your parents down, bring your children down. They're going to enjoy it as well. As you say, you've got the shop there, you've got the restaurant here, you've got all different types of facilities here. Just come and have a look. Just actually use it, as you said, as part of the community, which would be fantastic. Now, we talked about paint jam. Yeah. So the idea behind that is that you're going to move away slightly from perhaps some of the paintwork here, and the idea is that you get the community artists coming to do that, which is really cool. Events are always good and tricky all at the same time, aren't they? Yeah. Right. So you've got, I think you've got a couple of events coming up, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Which one's first? So what's coming first? What have you got coming down the road?
We've got some more of our own nights coming up.
We're doing a few more in-house events, because I think with these it's really important for us to learn as well what we need. If we've made any mistakes from any previous, what can we learn on, how can we improve? So the next couple of nights are going to be more in-house. So we'll do like a roller only night, scooter only night, BMX only night.
We want to put, when I said before, the inline nights have been brilliant. Not the next one, but the one after that, we want to make it an actual event, don't we?
With,
so that's the plan
giveaways
for them. Giveaways and
judges, everything.
And stuff. We've got one that we can't really speak about, can we? But because we're nearly signing on the dotted line for something that's massive in November. We're just in the final stages of that. We need basically to get planning permission for one little thing. If we can get that, then if you follow us on socials, then you'll see something that we've got coming up in November, which is massive. It's brilliant. I don't really want to say it now just in case it doesn't happen, but it should. 99% sure that it's going to get over the line, which that's probably going to be our first biggest proper event. I think Neisha mentioned before that it gets televised and stuff, doesn't it? So that's a little hint, but we'll just...
We are as well. We are fully aware of when we have opened. Wasn't the best time to have opened in the year, I'd say.
I think that's the main challenge I've said to you, haven't I?
So usually going into like the winter, colder, rainy periods, we would have opened and have just been busy continuously. We've opened in a quieter time, which is fine because it's given us more time to spruce the park up.
We've still done well considering that. I've took into consideration we're newly open again. a lot of people after 2 months still coming in saying, "Oh, I didn't know you'd reopened." So we were still getting that word out. Then on top of that, going into summer, which in an indoor area is always the quietest time. Like, we're not naive to know that. Sounds a bit silly, but I've quite enjoyed. That's why I've took on a new challenge of a new business, but I actually took it on in the most challenging time because I've gone into the summer. Yeah. So it's actually made me learn probably more. If I opened it in the winter, I still would have learned definitely, but when summer come around, I might have been like, right, this is a new challenge. Where I kind of feel like I'm hitting all my challenges now and I'm quite enjoying overcoming them because that's what we're doing now. We're overcoming them. We're doing well. Staff are happy, people are happy. Yeah. So for me, as the winter starts to come, it can only keep going up, which is good. And then we've got a feel for kind of our summertime runs as well. But the things we've got in place, hopefully, we will keep doing well in the summertime anyway. So
it's given us time to look at future events as well. Mm-hmm. So they will probably be more taking part during the colder months, as everyone is aware who runs a skate park or owns a skate park. It's the busiest time of the year. The footfall's better. People are more likely to come and ride indoors. So it just makes sense to run them then. So opening when we have, it's made us be able to look into the future and see what we can plan, who we can get involved. So we definitely have stuff in works. Everything will be posted on our socials, on our website, Activity for All. Click on the Warrington drop down and you'll see everything on there that we've got running, but everything, it is in plans and it's moving in the right direction.
Well, the funny thing is you've got the Olympics coming up. There's BMX and skateboarding, which is in that. That's going to be a super driver. Yeah, hopefully.
100%. Like usually kind of when there's a big event on, i.e. the Olympics, stuff goes through the roof, like we're seeing it over Christmas. I don't know if you follow darts, but Luke Little was doing amazing. Oh my gosh, everyone was buying dartboards and playing darts. Every time like someone goes out now, they're playing darts. So kind of like the same effect here. People are watching it on the Olympics. I want to try that, mum, or I want to try that, dad, or should I get back onto that? So hopefully for us that'll be a push, people coming in. We need to look at how we can utilise that. So is there stuff that we can then put on that would entice people? Do we do 1 hour sessions for cheaper so people might come and kind of get a feel for it again? Or do you know, so that's what we're going to look at as a company then and see how we can utilise the Olympics as an event. People looking at it and getting into it a bit more and then coming to us then. Hopefully that's something that we can look at. But I think definitely got to utilise the Olympics. Obviously watch it and enjoy, but utilise it as a business point of view as well.
It's super exciting. It reminds me of the winter sports, especially when we're in the half pipe and whatever else they're doing the various tricks and stuff, or they're doing the BMX sprint racing and oh god, that's like edge of your seat stuff. Absolutely love that stuff. There's some. I think there's quite a big scene over in the Northwest as well from that. There's some competitors, I think, who are in that, so fair play to them. And then, of course, Christmas will be coming up quite quickly. So, again, you talked about the winter. Hopefully we can start to get more people into the facility. I definitely want to do a
I was going to say the Christmas down.
That was so good. And the great thing about that was we had people coming from, I don't know if you remember, it was snow. Thick snow. It was the first time it had snowed, and the snow came down. It was really thick. I was like, oh, no one's going to be able to get down here. People still travelled from Hull. They came from Kent, everywhere, Bristol, they came from, up to the event anyway. So it just shows you that the draw that these things have, if they're done well within the right spirit.
I think, like, I know snow's a different one because people don't want to travel in it, but when he said before, timings of the events, kind of when it is winter, that's when people want to ride indoors. So I think that's the best time to do it. And obviously around Christmas, it sounds like the ones you guys did. Obviously, I wasn't part of the furniture then, but it sounds amazing. And hopefully we can. We will do another 100%. One. Obviously, if that's something you want to do, Mark,
we've already had people messaging after our recent skate jam. We've already had people messaging like, "When's the next one? Are we doing a cheeky Christmas one?" I was like, "Of course." So that's what we love, that people are actually asking for it as well. So of course we'll do all sorts.
I think for us, we want to do as much as we can, and I always say that. It sounds very simple, but we just want to do as much as we can do. Do you know, there's no limit to what we want to do. So we will put on as many things as we can. And we've had, like, the way we started with Lewis, he come to us and mentioned it. So if any customers, if anyone has an idea and they want to do it, come to us and we will say yes if we can do it. And
100%.
That's how we've got this inline night so good. Now it's monthly. Obviously, we've got the other ones as well. But kind of, if anyone's listening and they have an idea, it's not a bad idea, come and tell us. And we might have just not thought of it yet. Or we might not know someone who can help us. Like Lewis was brilliant because we could utilise him with his network.
Yeah.
You might have a brilliant network in a different industry or a different discipline, and we can kind of collaborate on that as well. So come forward with any ideas. That's what we'd say, and we'll always say yes, like I said before, unless we can't physically do it. But I don't see there's anything that we couldn't do.
Yeah, that sounds excellent, and I can't wish you well enough.
Oh, we
appreciate
it.
Because you really have. I think I said in the middle of the poddy, but it is hard. It is hard graphing. It's a massive risk.
Yeah, it is.
But I think that you really are onto a great thing here. I don't think there was any reason why it wouldn't be a success. You've got great backing anyway, but I just think taking the steps in which to do it. With any business, you're always going to have some challenges, of course.
Of course, we've hit a few now, haven't we?
Yeah,
kind of little things, but like I said before, enjoying a new business, but enjoying it in a difficult time or one of your most difficult times because it's summer and we've hit challenges and we've overcome them. And I think kind of how we felt once the challenges hit compared to how we felt when we've completed it, it doesn't match, does it? So when we've completed them, we're like, smashed it, we've done it, come on, let's carry on now.
Yeah.
And obviously the good always outweighs the bad, I think, and I think anything's challenging in life. Like, I was thinking before about challenges, and I was going to say kind of everything's been a challenge because I don't think anything's easy, but we've overcome kind of everything that's come our way.
It makes it worthwhile as well. Nothing that you want comes easy. It's cliche, but it's so true. So
that is very true.
Yeah. We're here to put the hard work in and see the results, which we're confident we will.
For me, I'm happy as well. Like you've mentioned a few times, kind of such a big risk, and obviously me taking this on was like kind of not having the full knowledge of a skate park running as well, which that was one thing I was kind of like, I kind of had to do some research and speak to some people, and kind of it was more like a rough guess on what was going to happen because I've never run a skate park before. So that seeing now that it's working well, kind of for me is a nice relief, because I think anything that gets presented to you, you've got to take it, otherwise you're never going to end up anywhere. And I had that attitude, and I was like, let's just do it, let's take it on, what's the worst that can happen, kind of. And obviously we're doing well now, which is good, so I'm kind of glad that we've took the chance, and we're doing well. We're doing well, and obviously the only way is up, isn't it, for us, I think.
100%.
It's a great mentality to have.
Yeah.
You have to keep going.
Yeah.
I always say to you, don't I, it sounds like really like stubborn, but I don't mean it a stubborn way, but kind of this won't fail because I won't let it. That's what I always say to you, don't I? I always say to her, like, if she's stressing about something,
having
she's a bit of a stress head.
I am a stress head. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like things running
a certain way. We work well, don't we? Because I'm dead chilled, and she's like a bit of a stresser.
I'm a list type of gal, so if my list isn't done at the end of the day, I'm stressed.
But I always say to you, don't I, like, this won't fail because we won't let it fail. No matter what happens, we will make sure that it doesn't fail. So I think with that attitude, if we keep with that attitude, which we will, there's not a way that I'll let it fail. So I don't think that anything's going to, unless someone blows it up, which hopefully they don't. It's not, I can't see it ever failing.
So if folk can't find you on the website for whatever reason, you can just come to the door, you can get in, you just pay on the door, and just come and enjoy yourselves. Bring your mates, come and have a fantastic time. Yeah. We want this place to succeed. I mean, you're doing some great stuff in the community already. The stuff around the education, for example, is fantastic as far as we're all concerned. What we're going to try and do as the Local Heroes podcast, by the way, is that we'll try and do everything we can to help promote you as well. And you talked about the other potential avenues around different sports coming here, even fitness, whatever. We've got a great network and community.
Brilliant.
Just via the podcast itself, where I'm sure they would love to hold an event or get involved themselves.
Like I say, working with anyone, we say don't we? If we 100%. Obviously, as a business, we want to do as much as we can in-house, which I think every business does the same. But on the flip side, like I've told you, the networking and meeting people and doing stuff with people who maybe is better in that industry, just because they do that, we'll work with anyone and everyone that we can, and kind of there's no limit to what we want to run here. We'll try and run as many different things as we can, and that's just how we want to work, isn't it? Kind of. Yeah, I've said it before, but there's no to anything unless we can't do it. And if you come forward and you have an idea that's a bit wild, but we can do it, we'll do it. Yeah.
So someone who is looking at doing their own business, what would from your experience right now, what's your advice?
I think kind of I would say clue yourself up as much as you can on running a business, because there's a lot of things there's a lot of fine little details that if you're running a new business, you're quite excited, like, because you're like, I'm starting something new. There's a lot of little fine details that goes into place of starting up and running a business. So I would always make sure that you know how they operate or how to do them. But I would say kind of, if you've got a bit of a foundation behind you and you have a plan and you think it's going to work, just do it. Kind of, I'll be honest, I ummed and ahed about this for about 2 months. It was about 2 months. I was saying, yes, I'm doing it, but in my back of my mind, I was like, do I want to take this risk? And then in the end, I was just like, why would I not do this? You know, the worst thing that could happen is I'll end up in the same place that I am now, which is not having the business. Now, the mentality I've got, like I told you, where I don't let things fail for myself. I don't like it. I won't let that happen. I was just like, let's just do it. Kind of just go for it, because you're never gonna get anywhere with it, or you're never gonna fail and learn about business if you don't go for the whatever business you want to do. I think just understand the logistics of running a business, or even have just an all right knowledge of how to do it, just so you're kind of not going in blind. Because I feel like if I went in blind, certain things that have come up, I would have been like, I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, that's when then you can network, which has been brilliant for me. I've networked with a few people who's helped me, which has been good. I think networking, I know I've mentioned it a good few times in this, but that's so important. Don't be afraid to ask people for help or what they've done. They might just have better knowledge than you, and if they don't mind helping you, then take everyone's knowledge. Be a sponge with everyone. I've always been someone that will sponge off everyone, and what I mean by that is I'll always listen to people. I can take on their advice. Kind of, if I've done something wrong, I'll say, I've done this wrong, what do you think? Soak up all that stuff off everyone, because the best way you can learn is by other people who's succeeding as well. Kind of, yeah, go for it 100%. Have a bit of knowledge around it. Network with the right people and soak up all their ideas and knowledge. That's what I would say. Yeah, I think just go for it. Kind of, don't talk yourself out of it. That's what I nearly did, and I would have been so upset now if I would have done that. I would have been so gutted, but just obviously go for it, yeah. And have backup plans as well. I think that's always key, to have backup plans.
So I think that we've decided that we're going to try and do all the podcasts here now in this tunnel, because it's awesome. I think that's probably a good place to stop, actually, because it's a really good message for anybody, certainly in the area. A, to get down here. Yeah. B, if you want to go for a business, go for it. What is the worst that can happen? But be considered when you do it, and you'll learn from the mistakes. Try not to be perfect as you go along. So that's a really good message to have. I
always follow something. It's really cheesy, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think it's off Evan Almighty. I don't know if you watch it, but when God comes down, he's basically saying kind of, if you ask God to give you money, do you think he'll give you money or the opportunity to earn money? It's something along them lines. And what I always think, kind of, you get given opportunities in your life. If you pray, I'm not saying people pray, what I mean is if you ask for something, it doesn't just get given to you, but there's kind of opportunities there that you've got to snatch to get what you want, if that makes sense. So kind of any opportunity that gets given to you, you will only make it where you want to be if you snatch them up or if you try. Yeah. So what I was trying to say before is, if you get given the opportunity to start a business or you want to do it, then just do it, because you're never going to reach your goal or where you want to be if you don't take any risks. Yeah. I know it's a bit cliche and a bit cheesy, but it's kind of, it's always stuck with me in my head, kind of, you'll get given opportunities, not what you want. You've got to snatch the opportunities up to get where you want to be. And that would be kind of what sticks in my head, kind of take them opportunities that get given to you. And if you fail and you try again, or you do something else. Not everything works in life, that's just how it works. Otherwise, everything would be perfect and we'd be robots, but we're not, kind of live from your mistakes and snatch up all everything that gets put in front of you. That's what I would say. That's how I live anyway.
I like that, that's nice. I'm ready for the day now.
Pumped for your day.
I'm prepared.
We could probably talk all day.
Yes.
I think that's a great place to end. I fully support what you're saying. Yeah. Thanks for reopening the place.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Super excited. I was so excited that you're going to come on the poddy.
Yeah.
Which leads me to say, you are local heroes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the podcast.
Thank you for having us, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.